Let y be a number. Translate the expression into an English phrase. So here we're doing some more translation, but now we're going in reverse. This would be like if we were in a Spanish class and we were given a Spanish phrase and we had to translate back to English, or if we were in a Russian class and we needed to translate from Russian back into English. So for each one of these problems, there's not going to be just one right answer. There will be lots of ways that we can say these things. So let's take a look at this first one. So we have addition that's going on here. And so we could certainly just say, if I were to just look at this, I would probably say 5 plus y. So that would certainly be one way to translate that into English. I could say that this is 5 plus y. And that would be a totally fine way to say it. But how else might we be able to say that? Well, we know that there's addition going on here. So we could say, instead of plus, we could say added to. Now, if I say added to, it's really the y that's being added to the 5. The 5 came first, and then what did I do to the 5? I added y to it. So we could say y added to 5. Notice that the order changes a little bit, but this is when I say y added to 5, that means we start with the 5, and then y is added to that. Now we can also get fancy with some of our math language. We know that the official math word for addition is the word sum. So we could say the sum of 5 and y. Because we know addition has to do with things being more than something, we could also say y more than 5. Okay, so lots of different ways, and these aren't the only ones. That you could also probably come up with some other ideas for ways to talk about this, but these would be some of the most common ones for doing this translation. Now in our second problem, where we've got subtraction we have to be a little bit careful of, because the order of subtraction makes a whole lot of difference. Unlike with addition, the order that addition happens doesn't matter, but with subtraction it certainly matters. So when I look at this problem, I would probably just say y minus 5. So that would certainly be one way that we could do it, y minus 5. Notice we could also say, well, what happened with this y? Well, I had a y, and then I took away 5. So we could say y take away 5. But that would be a pretty simplistic way of saying it, but that would be legitimate. We could also say that this is 5 less than y. Because if I take y and then I want 5 less than that, that would mean that I would take 5 away from it. So I could say 5 less than y. Notice when I talk about this less than, the order changes. If I say 5 less than y, that means that I started with the y and then I took 5 away from that. We could use the official math word for subtraction, which is the difference. Okay, difference is the official math word for subtracting problems. So we could say the difference of, and when we say the difference, we're going to put it back in the order that they gave us to, y and 5. Okay. So several different ways that we can talk about a subtraction problem, just like lots of different ways we can talk about an addition problem. And you may have come up with some other ways. If you come up with something different than one of these, just be sure to check with your instructor to make sure that you're on the right track with them. Because there's lots and lots of right answers, but there's also lots and lots of wrong answers as well.